So here it is, the MacBook Air with Windows on it. Not just Windows, but Windows 11. Now, most of you know that you can install Windows on a Mac if it has an Intel processor using bootcamp. And that allows you to dual boot from the Mac OS to Windows, but it has to be Windows 10. I haven't really seen many people put Windows 11 on a Mac. And the reason why I did this is not because I wanted to put Windows 11 on it. I picked up this MacBook Air, it's 2013, and I picked it up for $40, and the software was missing. So I was looking for my Mac OS installation USB, and I couldn't find it. So I was plugging in, I had a couple of random USB drives that weren't labeled. So I was plugging them in to see which one might be a Mac OS, because I have two. And I put in one, I booted from it, and it started booting into the Windows 11 installation. And I thought, I wonder if this will work. So I just let it go through the process. Now, it was not a standard Windows 11 bootable USB. It was a Rufus one with the bypasses in it, because it would probably be unsupported anyway. So it went through the whole installation process, and to my surprise, it actually worked. But there's a couple of issues. Because it's not bootcamp, the drivers are not installed. So there's no internet, and I'm just going to boot it up for the first time here and see what else is missing. I think when you don't use bootcamp, you don't have Bluetooth, Wi-Fi, webcam, stuff like that installed. And so the solution that some people have mentioned was to use it like a USB Wi-Fi that's compatible with Windows to get internet, and then go ahead and download the drivers. So this is a little bit different. I'll show you the laptop here in a second. So this is a MacBook with just Windows, no dual boot, no Mac OS. It's just straight Windows for $40. Not bad. The MacBook Air has really good battery life, and I'm not sure what processor is in here. We'll take a look at that in a second too. But the battery life, it's very lightweight. It's kind of a nice laptop for just Windows if you wanted to, or if somebody gave you one for free. But normally you wouldn't do this. But I thought it would be funny. So let's go ahead and take a look inside and look at the Windows install. So the setup screen is just like any other Windows PC, but we have it to where you don't have to put in a Microsoft account, and you don't have to have internet. And then what we'll do is we'll plug in the internet after. Just turn this off and see if we can download the drivers. And here it is booted up. So we have internet now. I plugged in an external adapter, and let's go to control panel and see what's missing. Sorry, I meant device manager. So you can see there's no Bluetooth, there's no Wi-Fi, SM bus. So let's go ahead and try and download those, and we'll be back. So if you had used bootcamp, it would automatically put those in there, but since we just installed it straight, you have to do it manually with an external connection. Some people have said you can plug in your iPhone and use the hotspot, but I didn't try that since I had a USB Wi-Fi. So let's try and download these drivers and we'll be back. So after the update, you do get Wi-Fi, but there's no brightness option on the keyboard. The right click on the touchpad doesn't work, and I think, let's see, the sound still doesn't work. So we're gonna have to see if we can manually download the drivers. There is a way, there's a program that's called Brigadier or something I saw that will install all the drivers without boot camp. But I'm gonna see if I can just find them each manually and install them. All we really want is brightness control on the keyboard, right click on the touchpad, and then sound. So we'll be back. So everything's working now. I found this file. This is the boot camp drivers. Not that one, but this is a different one. See, it's 1 gigabyte. And it took forever to install, but now everything works. See, the keyboard's light up. You can do the brightness. The sound works. You can do the keyboard brightness. And the Bluetooth works. And I'll have to put it below. I'm not sure where I found this file, but this is basically all the drivers. So we're good. Now the only thing we have to do now is activate Windows. And obviously there's no key, so I have a spare key I'm gonna put in here and see if that works, and then we'll be done. Okay, so we are done. I installed the boot camp thing and everything works. The microphone works, I assume the webcam works, the Wi-Fi works. What else? The keyboards work, the brightness control, the volume works. That's the keyboard. And where's the brightness for, yeah. Brightness for the screen works. Everything's pretty much perfect. And let's just see. I wanted to show you the specs of this system about. This particular one is a i7-4650U, which is some sort of, I guess, low-end version of a 4th gen Intel, and 8 gigabytes of DDR3 integrated graphics, 250 gigabyte storage. Now the MacBook Air comes with SSD, so it's kind of zippy, but not. So let's just try this. Go to Edge. See, it's not terrible. I can use the touchpad to scroll. There is no pinch to zoom because the touchpad is not set up and there's no right click. So apparently that's something that you have to set up in the boot camp software, which I don't have. So there's the downside, but otherwise it works. Also, before I installed that software, the fan was on full blast all the time, and the sleep function didn't work, and now it's working. See, like battery state. I've been using this for about half an hour and there's still 2.5 hours left. So the battery life on these is really great. The resolution is weird. It's 1440 by 900. Where's display? Let's see. Yeah, 1440 by 900. So Anyway, why would you do this? There's no reason. Why would you not dual boot into Mac OS and Windows? Also, no reason. I did it to be funny. But in the end, it works. And if you had a specific use case for is that bootcamp? Oh, it is. Control panel. I think that's where you set up the mouse. Let me see. Keyboard, trackpad. Ah, secondary click, bottom right corner. Let's try that. Oh. Yeah, we have right click now. Awesome. What else can you do in there? Bootcamp control panel. Can you do pinch to zoom? No. Keyboard. Use. Oh, this is where you can set up the function keys. Use F1 is when function key is pressed. Okay. I don't need that. Yeah, my only complaint was the right click. Also, I uninstalled Copilot, so it runs a little bit smoother. But anyway, if you had an old MacBook Intel and you needed to run a particular application on it and you didn't want to upgrade the Mac OS, you could just install Windows on it, and that's it. So we saved this MacBook from certain destruction. Anyway, thank you for watching, and let me know what you think. We'll see you next time.